Today we are going to discuss about the database application design and development, and it's a very interesting topic, as all of you know that when it comes to the website development or any application design and development, then the role of the database comes into the picture very well. We have to manage the database from the backend side. So in this topic, or you can say in this chapter, we are going to discuss what are the technologies we are using, what are the concept behind that one. We will discuss all them one by one, and the terminology which we use in the application design and development. These are the topics which I am going to cover in today's and tomorrow class. The first one is the application program and the user interface, and then we have the web fundamentals. What are the basic building blocks of any website? We will discuss that one. Then the servlet and JSP, Java scripting, Java server pages, which is the design in the Java language, and the HTML is the basic scripting language for that one. Application architecture and rapid application development, then application performance and the security. So this is all about the how we develop any application and what is the role of the database and how we can provide the security in that. We will discuss that one. So let's start with the first topic. What is the application program and user interface? So basically an application, when we are talking about any application, whether it is a university application or the hospital or the airline management system or banking application, we have the users, we have the developers, and people are using the database. Now, any application is split into these three parts mainly. The first one is called front end. Front end means those part which is visible to user. For example, you can see the website of our university, that is called the front end. So front end, this is the first one. Front end means the website or application which is visible to student. We are not talking about any website only. We are talking here about any application also. Nowadays, you guys know very well, whenever any website is designed, people are interested in the mobile applications also, because due to the digital era development, let's say people is having a mobile phone and they can easily use that application. So and the application, mobile application, once it is developed, it is stored in the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. For that, the developer has to do the registration and all the procedures. Now, front end means which is visible to student, and I can see many of you are using the laptop and many of you are using the mobile, and you are attending the lectures through the Team software. So basically this is an application, and many people are using the website also. Okay, now the second part of any application for that is called middle layer, which is basically the interface where we can communicate through the middle layer. Now, and the last, and which is very important when the role of the database comes into the picture, that is called the backend. Backend means where we have the database. For example, you want to inquire somewhere, and they are asking you some details, let's say your information, your mobile number or your email, and once you submit the form, they will get back to you. So where it is stored in the database. So that kind of request is coming from all around the world. So they will check all that information through the backend at once, and then they can contact to the customer or the clients. So it's a very useful here, the backend, and anything, whatever we want to change in the website also, we can do through the backend procedure also. So these are the main three parts of any application program. Now, what we have in the front end, we are going to discuss this one also here. You can see front end, in the front end user interface, you can see that we have mainly the graphical user interface. Any website or any application, when we are talking, if the GUI is very attractive, then it attracts the user. GUI means whether your website is static or dynamic or what kind of functionality is there in your website. So that basically called the graphical user interface. Now, many interfaces are web-based, means you can see there are a lot of ready-made templates is available for developing the website in the market through the multinational companies. So the customer or the client can go for the ready-made template also. And here the very important terminology is here, the forms. Forms means whenever, let's say, any person wants to submit the form, or you can see nowadays many organizations or the entrance examination here in India or across the world, they are taking the exam online, or they are asking the form from the candidates, online form applications. So once they submit this all information, that will be stored in the database and they can check from the backend. But this form facility should be at the front end, so that's why it is mentioned in the front end. Is there any doubt so far? Are you guys listening my voice very well and you can see the slides? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible है पर थोड़ी voice break हो रही है.
Okay, let me improve it. Let me improve it. अब ठीक है? Is it okay now? Mohammed Wasim, is it okay? Rishabh? All right. So this is the application architecture evolutions, how we are now in this 21st, we are in the latest era of the world. So how it's changing in the application architecture. The first in 1960s and 70s, the concept of the mainframe came, and then after the personal computer era was in 1980s, and now the era of the web and the mobile applications is a very popular, which came after the 1990s. Here you can see in the diagram that we have these three era diagram: mainframe, and we have the personal computer era, and then we have the web era. You can see this schematic diagram here, that how this mainframe computer architecture is here, application architectures, that the terminals are here and people are using through the proprietary network or dial-up phone lines. And here in this personal computer era, the people are using the application program, and we have the database here. You can see here the role of the database here, and then local area network LAN is there, and through the desktop computers we can access any kind of information from the database. And here this is the web era, and here you can see that these are the computers or the mobiles, and they are using the internet, and we are using the application server, and that application server will take the data from the database and the user will get the database. So basically these are the changes in the application architecture from 1960s to 1990 and onwards. Now let's talk about the web interface. Here, whenever you are assessing any website, so for assessing the website, you need what? You need the web browser. So we have different kind of web browser. For example, we have the Google Chrome or Mozilla or Internet Explorer. You can use any web browser for assessing any web interface. And any website which is designed in different kind of scripting language, for example, HTML and the different versions or different flavors of the HTML. And the same thing with the Java scripting language, PHP. So basically any website is developing by the developer with the help of the different scripting languages. Is depend on the specialty and the expertise and how any organizations want. You can see there are many examples. Let's say the universities are doing the course registration and the grading and so on. And we are also using the Moodle here in our university and Microsoft team. More example, you can see the banking. When you go in the bank and you want to deposit any money or you want to withdraw the money, the manager or the teller, they use the banking application. So that's one of the best example we are using in our daily life. Airline, whenever you want to book your airline ticket, or you want to book a Ola car or Uber car. So there are a lot of applications going on nowadays, and which is a very big market in the software industry. Now we have to understand here what is the meaning of WWW. WWW is the acronym for the World Wide Web, and the web is distributed information system based on the hypertext. So, and you know, whenever we want to open any website in the web browser, we are typing http:// then // then www, then the website name and the domain name we are using. So here we use the WWW because that is basically the distribution information system, and we use the first language which came for the website development. It was the HTML language, hypertext markup language, which we know very well because you guys have done some practicals in HTML also. Now, what we do in the HTML document, any HTML documents is contain a number of tags. We can use the tags, we can use the hyperlinks, we can use the different forms. These are basically the document, the HTML document contain. What any HTML document contain, these are some information. The tags may be different types, means the opening tag and closing tag, and some tags are without the closing tag. So this depends on what kind of requirement you have for your website or any application, and accordingly we will develop any website. Now here, the next thing we have to know, what is the URL. You heard many times about the URL. So basically the URL is what? URL is the function of pointers is provided by the URL, Uniform Resource Locators. URL example, here you can see our university website, https://www.spsu.ac.in, and then you can go for a specific web page. So this complete thing is called a URL. A URL. So here the first part in this URL indicates how the document is to be accessed. HTTP. HTTP is called Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Here, if you look on this example, I have used here HTTPS. HTTPS is the special version of the HTTP protocol, and which is used for the securing your website or your application, so that the third-party persons or the hackers can't access your website and hack your website. So we use the secure protocol also for any website or application. The second part gives the unique name of a machine to the internet. Unique name means this website should be unique, because when you register your website, that it goes to the internet, and no two organizations is having the same name organization website, because it's a unique address all over the world. So it's depend on the organization, which kind of organizations wants which kind of domain. So here in this example, you can see that our university is having a domain name .ac.in, and all of you have accessed a number of websites, the commercial website or the government website or any organization website, and you found this difference that we are using .ac.in because we are the academic university here in India. .ac means academic and .in is the domain for the India. But if you can go for any other website for the government organization, then you can see the .gov.org, or let's say the worldwide organizations you can see like facebook.com or google.com, because they are the commercial organizations. Whereas if you go for different country like UK, then you can see the domain name is .uk or .dk. It depends on the type of the country and the type of the organizations where they register their URL. So it's very important. Now the local identification also you can identify through the path name and the file name, whatever the path name you will give, and you can access that particular document also. Here we are discussing all this web component one by one. So far we have discussed about www, we have discussed about the URL, we have discussed about the web browser. Here the next two important terminology when any application development comes, we have to know about HTML and HTTP very well. As we have discussed little bit about the HTML. HTML provides the formatting and hypertext link and image. Whenever you want to include any tables or image or style sheet, then you can also use the HTML scripting language. HTML also provides the input features in the form of pop-up, in the form of radio buttons, in the form of checklist, in the form of forms. So these are all the fields, or you can say the properties we can use through the HTML scripting language. Now the HTTP is the hypertext protocol, hypertext transfer protocol used for communication with the web server. As we know about the protocol is basically the rules and set of rules or standards. When we are doing the communications, we have to use different protocols. I have to mention some protocol name here. Here, let's say we use the HTTP for the web. We also use the FTP. FTP is called file transfer protocol. You can transfer your files through this protocol also, and is also very important protocol as far as application development is concerned. This is the simple HTML source text here. You can see here, whenever you want to write the code in HTML scripting language, you have to start with the HTML. This is called a tag, HTML tag, and this is the called ending tag of HTML. So you have to start here. This is the beginning and this is the ending, and in between the body is there of the form or of the page. Here body closing, table border. You define here a table here. In the table we have different fields: ID, name, department. And then we have entered some values in that field. This is the ID, this is the name, and this is the department. And you can see that we have used tr. Tr means the table row, and we use the closing command also. And then we have close the table. Then we develop a form for this page, and the form is here is called like personal query, and we have given some fields where the users can fill the values, and then we can submit the buttons. So this is the very basic HTML source code for any web page design, and you can see here how it looks in the database. You can see here on the front end side, you can see ID, name, HTML, name, and the department, and some values is here. Search for student, which kind of student you want to search and which department, and then once you submit, then the query will goes to the database, and accordingly you will get the result. What kind of student you are searching and which department you are searching, you will get the result. This is only the 3 attribute, but when we go for the large database like millions records in the database and we want to access any particular information, then this kind of features gives this kind of features is very useful as far as this application development is concerned. So I have covered from slide number 1 to 10. So if you guys have any doubt, then you can ask, and I will roll back the slides one by one here. So can you hear my voice? Hello, Karthik, Siddharth, Vaibhav?
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes,
doubts
sir.
so far? Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay, because I know you guys are developing the website and you have done some practicals, so this is a very interesting topic, and is good to have some knowledge in this one. Okay, now here after this we are on slide number 11. We have to know about what is the web server here, and what is the meaning of a client and server? Can I ask Siddharth? Can you give me the definition of a client and server?
Sir, client is someone who sends requests to the server for some services.
Okay. And what about the server?
Server is responsible for providing the services.
Okay. Okay. Vaibhav, can you give any example of the client and server? Vaibhav Ghatiani?
Yes, sir. Like, sir, when we are searching on Google, means
Yeah.
whatever we search, we are requesting, we are the user, and the response we get from the Google server is the means Google server responds us with the data we need according to our search.
Okay, that's good. That's good example of the client and server and the definition. We use different kind of server, as we know, and we have the client. Client is basically, you can say, like a user. Client takes the services from the server, and the server will give you the services. And server is more powerful than the client because it's providing the server. So, and the configuration, as far as configuration is concerned, configuration means what kind of the hardware or the software we have internally in the client and server. So server configuration is more powerful than the client. So a web server can easily serve as a front end to a variety of information services. For example, when an HTML server receives a request for such a document, it executes the program and send back the HTML document that is generated. So here, web client means those who want to access the service. As Vaibhav said, let's say whenever we want to open any web page from Google, so it means we are requesting a web page from the Google. It goes to the request will goes to the Google server, and then we will get the response. And this is a very fast process, so that once you send the request, and immediately that request will goes to the server and you will get the response. Sometimes, if you remember, maybe it happens with you guys also. Whenever you want to check some results online, sometimes the request is coming, your web page is taking time, and you are getting the information with some delay. It is happening because of the delay from the server side. Because as we discussed, that once you request any information you want to retrieve from any website or any database, it always goes to the server, and accordingly you will get the response from the server. So here you can see this is a 3-layer web architecture. Here we have a browser. Here this is our computer, and as we discuss about the HTTP protocol, which is used for the communication in the networking, and this is our network. We have a different kind of network, whether we are in the LAN, MAN or WAN, and then you can access the data by the help of different kind of server here. You can see here we have the web server, we have the application server, and we have the database server. So these all server will access the data, and when any request is coming from this client or user through the browser, the information will go through the network, the request, and then you will get the response. This is the 3-layer web architecture. This is the 2-layer web architecture. Here you can see we have combined the web server and application server together, and we have the database server. And the other thing is same here. So in direction have overheads. Alternative, what is the best alternative? What we can do? We have designed the 2-layer architecture for this to minimize the overhead in the web. Now the next thing is the HTTP and sessions. If you know very well, this HTTP protocol is a very popular protocol as far as the networking or the website development or is concerned, and it's called connectionless protocol. Connectionless protocol means what? Once the server replies to a request, the server closes the connection with the client and forget all about the request. This means this is the connectionless protocol. In contrast, in Unix login, we use the JDBC and ODBC connection. So here we have to understand what is the JDBC and ODBC. This is basically used for the database connection in any application development. JDBC is called Java Database Connectivity. ODBC, Object Database Connectivity. We use it when we do some, let's say, kind of networking programming or networking services because of the client and server concepts in the Unix. We can write some codes in the Unix also. And the Unix programming is also like kind of HTML programming. And maybe you have done some programs in the Unix lab also. So, and for that we can provide the JDBC and ODBC connections by some methods. So why? Because this is more authenticate and secure for the organizations. So people use this kind of facility also for the development. What is the motivation behind it for using? It reduces the load on the server. If the load on the server is less, then whenever any request is coming from any client or from the user, then the response will be very fast. So that's the main purpose of using these services. Now, the next is the session and the cookies. Let me take one practical example. Some of you sometimes have seen this kind of message on your screen when you are accessing any document on the website. The session is expired. Session is expired means what? Basically the connection is closed from the server. So that is called the session, and the session established until you will get your answers from the server. That makes a particular connections. Now, what is the cookies? Nowadays, whenever you are opening any website, you always can see a pop-up window that accept cookies or ignore cookies or this kind of things. So basically, cookies is what? A cookie is a small piece of text containing identifying information. This is basically sent by the server of that particular company or the organizations to the browser. Browser means from where you are accessing your document. This is the first instructions to identify the session. Means your session is established by accepting the cookies. Then you can request any other web pages from the server, and you will get the response from the server. So basically, that makes the authentication that you are accessing a website and you want to access some information. Cookies can be stored permanently or for a limited period of time. It depends on the user. Now, the next thing is the about the servlet, and the servlet is a very popular in Java programming language, and servlet defines an API for communication between the server and the program, application program. So API means application program interface. And as we know why the Java programming language is very popular across the world, the reason behind is internet compatible, and there is a platform independent language. We can run any Java program code into the different kind of operating systems. So that's why it is called platform independent language. Due to its bytecode development. Bytecode is a key code in the Java programming language. And for the website development, we are using the JSP because of the Java features. Now, for example, methods to get parameters values from the web forms and send HTML text back to the client. In that we use a servlet here. Application program, also called as servlet, is loaded into the server. And the thread is closed once the request is service. Example here, you can see the servlet code example. This is the one of the program as we discuss here about the Java. I hope you have done some programs in Java programming language. Vaibhav, Siddharth, Utkarsh, Karthik.
Yes. Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Sir, not on the server side.
I'm saying that you have done some programs on Java. Siddharth, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Sir, but not on the server side.
Okay, not server side. So what we have done here, you can see here in this code, this is the first, second, third, and first to 3 line. We use the package. This is we use like in C programming language to include some header files. So similarly, we use the packages in the Java programming language by the help of import java.io.star. It means we are using Java programming language IO. We have the package, and then star, whatever the methods in that package we can use anyone. The star means that. Then the servlet and the star, we can use any methods from that package also. This is the ready-made package. So what is the meaning of ready-made package? That whenever we want to use any ready-made function, we can directly use in our program for the services. Let me give you one example. As we all know that we have functions or methods. Function is called in Java is methods. It's 2 types. One is called user defined, and another one is called the ready-made. Ready-made means is already developed and you can use it. And user defined means you have to develop the whole code. Means you have to define the definition, you have to define you have to call them and you have to close them. So basically here we are using the ready-made method. Some methods we want to use ready-made. So therefore we have included this package in the initial of the program here. Now then after we use the public class, and this is basically the name and extend. If you remember, we have discussed the inheritance also yesterday. In inheritance, we use the extend keyword that we can use the some features of the base class into the child class. Extend HTTP servlet and this opening braces. Then public void do get, and then we have passed some parameters here. You can see the request, response, and then throws. This throws is basically comes from the features of the Java programming language, which is called the exception handling. Any kind of exception comes during this program, then this program can handle it easily. Any kind of IO or IO means input and output exceptions. Now then we started here the main code. The response then dot set content type. Here we have mentioned some tags in HTML. Then we use some we use the class and the object creation, and then we use some the methods. Then output out.println, we want to print something, so that's why we have used this one. Then body of servlet, and then we close. So basically this is a simple code when we do the servlet programming for any application development. And this is the more code. You can see here in this code mainly we use some methods, and we use here the condition if, and here out.println is same like printf functions. We use here the for loop also for a task, for this task to perform a number of times. So basically this is a raw code for any servlet code. So the reason of this servlet code to give here is that we can pass the parameters, we can develop any kind of forms, and we can give any kind of HTML tags in the method also. That's the reason I have shown this servlet code here. Now servlet session. Servlet session, as we have discussed the session, once you request any web page from any website, then the session is established until you perform your all tasks, and once you close the application, then the session is closed. So how it is established internally by in the code? Let's say here you can see one command here, if request.get session false equals to true, then the existing session. Else means we use the if and else command for session established, and once the session is closed, then means the user completed the operation and closed the web page. And we can use the login and password also. Let's say the logout, you can see normally on the website also, in the banking or any other website, you can see the logout. So but basically this facility is given due to the session is whether it's on or off, is true or false. So that's the reason here, by the help of username and the password. We use a number of applications for this kind of services, and Apache Tomcat is a very popular, and Glassfish and JBoss. These are the mainly used for the servlet programming language. And here you can see that we use a different flavor of the Java programming, basically for this kind of development. When we do any application development, Java to Enterprise Edition, we have the different versions of the Java programming language. As you all know, we have the J2ME, Java to Mobile Edition. We have J2EE. J2EE is called Java to Enterprise Edition. 2 here is represent what? 2 is basically representing about the version number. Any doubts so far from slide number 10 to 20? So we can discuss if you have any doubts so far from slide number 11 to 20. Utkarsh, some voice is coming, so please mute your mic. This is slide number 11, then 12, then this is 13. We have discussed about the 3-layer architecture and 2-layer architecture. Then we have discussed about the HTTP and sessions, and you have to know very well that HTTP is called the connectionless protocol. Then we have discussed about the session and the cookies. We have discussed about the servlet. Then we have discussed about one example of the servlet code and how the session is established and how the session is closed for any application. Any doubts so far? Vaibhav, Karthik, Ashish, can you hear my voice?
No, sir. Yes,
Yes, sir.
no doubt.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, is fine. Now let me go for the next part here. server-side scripting language, as we have discussed, there are a number of scripting programming languages for the website or application, like HTML, VBScript, Perl, and Python. JSP. Here you can see the JSP, one page in JSP that is called Java Server Pages, which is embedded with the Java code. HTML had title, hello, closing, and then this is the body here. As I have discussed with you guys that we use a number of tags when we do any scripting language. You can see here HTML starting and this is closing. This is the body. Whatever you want to perform any kind of operation you can do here. This is the one of the example for the PHP code. PHP is called preprocessor hypertext programming, hypertext language, and which is used for web server scripting language. You can see here we use here PHP. If this code, then echo. You can see here and here there is a way of writing the code in a different way in different programming language. Here the scripting language. JSP, we have write something differently, and here you can see here in the PHP we use some different commands. The reason behind it, each and every scripting language is there, they have their own syntax. Syntax means basically the format, in what kind of format we can use a particular command or methods. Then we have the client-side scripting. Browsers can fetch certain scripts, that is basically called client-side scripts or programs along with the document, and execute them in a safe mode. We will discuss this one later on. First, we have to discuss how these security features came in the website or any application. We have to discuss that one very well. So let me skip this slide. I will go back. I will come back here. So let me discuss the idea behind for any kind of security here. If you can see here, there is encryption. The security for any application or any website comes through the encryption and the decryption mechanism. So I'm going to discuss here about the encryption. What is the encryptions? Data may be encrypted when database authorizations provision do not offer sufficient protection. So encryption is basically, in layman terms, if you define an encryption is basically a technique for providing the security for your documents, for your data, for your database. We use a number of keys for the encryption. And here you can see here we have here symmetric key encryption technique, and we have the public key encryption technique, that is the asymmetric key encryption. What we do here in the encryption, we have a terminology which is called the plain text, means your data. We use different keys to encrypt that plain text, and then the plain text is converted to the ciphertext by the help of different keys. And then again, this ciphertext is converted by the help of different keys in the decryption mechanism, and then the user or the client can see the original data. So why we use this encryption and decryption techniques? To provide the security for the web page or for your data. Now, here we have to understand what is the difference between symmetric key encryption and asymmetric key encryption. In the first one, we use the same key for encryption and same key for the decryption. Means whatever the key you use for the data encryption, the same key is used for the decryption process. Now, what we do in the asymmetric key encryptions, we use different key for the encryption and for the decryption. For example, if you use the public key for the encryption, then maybe we can use the private key for the decryption. So it depends on the which kind of key you are using for encryption and which kind of key you are using for the decryption. We can define the encryption types. Here, a number of algorithm is developed as far as security is concerned, or the encryption or decryption technique is concerned. A very popular algorithm is here the data encryption standard, DES, AES, RSA. These are the very popular algorithms as far as security is concerned. Now, what is the main difference between these algorithms is that the key size. Key size is the basic difference among these algorithms. We use the keys, as I told you, that we use the public key and private key. So we can encrypt the data by 256 key or 356. It depends on the type of algorithm, and we can give the name. For example, here DES substitute character and rearrange the order on the basis of encryption key, which is provided to the authorized user via secure mechanism. So you can see here in DES, we substitute characters and rearrange it, their order. For example, you want to encrypt a data. A data is here, let's say university. Here our input data is university, that is called plain text, and you want to use the DES algorithm. So DES algorithm will do what? It will substitute some characters and rearrange it. Means, let's say university U is replaced by another character, let's say A, U, N is replaced by another character, and then change the order, and then we apply the key, and then it goes to the decryption side, and again we use the different keys and we can retry. The reason behind is using this algorithm is that if any unauthorized person or hackers hack your data, even though they don't have these kind of keys, so they can't retrieve your original data. So that's the reason we use a different kind of algorithm for the encryption technique. And you know, the data is very important for any organizations, because many organizations, they are sending the data online, very secure data online. So they have to use this kind of algorithms when they are performing any kind of operations online. So I think that's all for today as of now. So if you have any doubts so far, we can discuss, and I will continue this remaining part of this lectures tomorrow. So let me go back with the slides, and if you have any doubts so far, we can discuss one by one. Let me go to our topic slide. Yes. Ashish, can you hear my voice? Ashish, Karthik, Karthikeya, Siddharth. Can you hear my
Yes,
voice?
sir.
Is
Yes,
there any
sir.
doubt so far? Is there any doubt so far, or any question? The floor is open for the discussion now. No doubt?
No, sir.
So, Karthikeya Singh Rawat, can you hear my voice? Karthik,
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
what is a cookie? Can you give me the definition of a cookie? Karthikeya, what is a cookie? What do you mean by cookie? Ashish Taki, are you there? Vaibhav, anyone can answer what is a cookie? Vaibhav, what is cookie? What is cookies? Hello.
So key can, yes sir. Hello.
What is cookie? Vaibhav, what is cookie?
Hello.
Yeah, Vaibhav, I can hear you. What is cookie?
The key can be anything like a number or a string, can be used to encrypt and decrypt the data.
Okay, this is about the key. I'm asking what is a cookie? Cookies.
Sorry sir, I'm not clear on the question. Means what?
My question is here, what is the cookie? This cookies. What do you mean by cookie? A cookie is a small piece of text containing identification information. Vaibhav, can you see the slides?
Yes sir.
So now you understand about the cookie?
Sir, I'm seeing the application authentication means my slide on 45 I am.
Okay, all right. So I want to know about the cookie because you are doing the website development and all this kind of. So I want to know what is a cookie and session.
A short time memory stored in the
The session means when we request to the server, when we make it, when a client make a request, it's provided with the session key. Means the cookies means a string is provided from which the cookies contain the information about means when the session was started, and how much time given to the client. Means before, if it is idle for the time, then the session is expired, or means when the can be lost, it is decided by.
Okay, all right. That's good answer, Vaibhav. And so I will cover the remaining topic for this chapter in tomorrow's class. So thank you so much for attending this class, and stay safe and healthy and take care, all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
रावत, मैं तो खाने वाली कुकी समझ रहा था भाई इतनी देर से।
नहीं खाने वाली नहीं, मेरे को समझ तो आ रही थी लेकिन आंसर नहीं डाल रहा था ढंग से।
अरे स्लाइड टेढ़ी मेढ़ी करके देख लेता ना।
नहीं, मेरे को ध्यान तो था, वो स्टोर होती है मेमोरी के अंदर वो अपने रिसेंट में, लेकिन अब वो ऐसे पूरी एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं आ रही थी।
बेटर बनाने के लिए
हाँ, वो वेबसाइट के ऊपर, क्योंकि मैंने जब वो जेडीबीसी पढ़ा था तब मुझे ध्यान था कि वो आया था कुकी।
अरे क्या हाल है?
हेलो,
हाल है?
क्या कह रहा है? सुनाया नहीं, आवाज नहीं आ रही है ढंग से तेरी।
अरे हाल क्या है? हाल चाल?
अरे बस पड़े हैं घर पे, और क्या है, तू बता।
निकलने ही नहीं दे रहे यार।
हाँ यार, घर वाले कहीं जाने नहीं देते।
हाँ
बाहर जाए तो और पुलिस वाले और डंडे मारे, करे क्या?
तेरे उधर तो कुछ नहीं है यार, तेरे उधर तो होगा ही नहीं इतना।
नहीं भाई, नहीं जाने देते, पुलिस आ चुकी है मेरे 2 बार तो कॉलोनी में आ गई।
2 बार?
अरे कोई गधा है, उसने बुला लिया यार चूतिया।
मेरा एक फ्रेंड तेरे यार, तुम्हारे उधर तो नहीं है, मेरा एक और फ्रेंड रहता उधर किधर, वो तो बोला कोई आता ही नहीं है भाई, वो फुल मौज है मजे में।
अरे भाई, हमारे कॉलोनी में कुछ गधे है ना,
अच्छा
उन्हीं ने बुलाई। हम लोग खेल रहे थे यहाँ पे, पता है, क्रिकेट आराम से सब लोग, तो उसने बुला ली पुलिस कि यार लोग क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं। हाँ, अब बताओ। हम तो भाग गए थे, एक जने के डंडे पड़े।
हमारे यहाँ तो भाई पूछ मत तू। हाँ, 1 घंटे में
मार्केट में तू तो कुछ कर भी नहीं सकता।
क्या करें यार, वो 1 दिन के लिए खुला, वापस बंद कर दिया है यार।
वो तो यार ये लोग पागलों जैसे उतर गए मार्केट में, इतनी सारी भीड़ हो गई तो बंद ही होना है।
और मतलब गजब भी, मैं तो चेक डालने गया था ऐसे बैंक में, भाई इतनी भीड़ थी ना भाई, गजब। और सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग तो है ही नहीं कुछ, मतलब ऐसे लपट
ध्यान है
रहे
मेरे
हैं
को,
एक
मैंने भी
दूसरे के
वीडियो देखी
ऊपर।
थी, बहुत भयंकर भीड़ थी।
हाँ, वो तो अच्छा हुआ दुकानें नहीं खुली है, वरना तो।
जो तो पता है आधे साइड का ही खोला था अभी तो, उसने कलेक्टर ने
हाँ,
पूरा खोला भी नहीं था।
वो
हमारे साइड की
दूसरी
टर्न ही नहीं
साइड,
आने दी सालों ने, बंद ही करा दिया।
वो दूसरी साइड वाला तो खुले ही नहीं बेचारा।
वही तो कह रहा हूँ, हमारे साइड की तो टर्न ही नहीं आने दी, बंद ही हो गया।
हाँ, कब खुलेगा
हम्म,
रे? रावत जी खुलवाओ ना यार लॉकडाउन, यार ऐसे क्या कर रहे
मेरे बस में नहीं है ना।
हो?
खुलवा के क्या करना है, मरना है क्या तेरे को?
नहीं यार, घूमने जाएंगे।
घूमने जाके क्या करेगा, मर जाएगा, मर साले। कहीं घूमने नहीं जाना, पड़ा रहा घर के अंदर चुपचाप।
आऊ आऊंगा आऊंगा लॉकडाउन में एक बार तो आऊंगा तेरे घर पे। तेरे से गले
आजा,
मिलने।
आजा, आजा।
आते आते।
हाँ लेकिन कोरोना वोरोना तो वही पड़े रहना, यहाँ आएगा तो मैं तेरे को हाथ भी नहीं
अब
लगाने दूँ।
था कोरोना यार, भाई यार 40 दिन रह लिए ना घर में यार, लॉकडाउन को सख्ती से पालन किया है अपन ने।
हाँ फिर ठीक है, फिर आ जाना। ये कौन खास रहे, कौन है? अच्छा प्रियल।
ये देख ये देख ये देख, पुलिस वाले है ना पीछे, वो बंसाली हॉस्पिटल वाली रोड है ना अपनी,
पढ़ाई नहीं चल
राजीव
रही
गांधी,
क्या?
राजीव गांधी ऑडिटोरियम।
खत्म हो गई है, तू लेट हो गई है आने में।
तो तुम लोग बातें क्यों कर रहे हो?
तो क्यों
हमारी मर्जी।
बातें नहीं कर सकते क्या?
इस पे
ये
क्यों कर रहे हो?
बंसाली हॉस्पिटल के सामने वो लगा रखी है चौकी, जो हमारी गली में से निकलते हैं लोग घूम घूम के।
अपन तीनों भिलवाड़ा वाले हैं ना?
हाँ,
हाँ,
ये
तेरा घर किधर है प्रियल?
आरसी व्यास।
आरसी बस, हाँ वहाँ पे भी पूरा करीब हो रहा है। अभी वहीं पर तो आया था एक केस।
दो केस आए थे भाई।
हाँ दो।
चलो ठीक है, ध्यान रखना।
चलो ठीक है, हाँ बाय।
बाय।